And I'll call the meeting to order, and Bob call the roll.
Mark Barker,
Present.
Brooks Reed,
Here.
Todd Hollingsworth,
Here.
Jimmy Nail,
Here.
Jim Bush,
Here.
Kevin George,
Here.
Ken Higgins, Tony Neal,
Here.
Jim Jones,
Here.
Chuck Holt,
Here.
9 present, 1 absent.
All right. We're in special session today, so only things we can consider is what is on the agenda that you had mailed to you. And number 4 on that agenda is to approve the resolution for the highway department. And you got a little pink note at the top of it. It was not on the correct form at our last meeting, and the state comptroller's office asked that we do it again on the corrected form. And you've had time to look at it, and the highway department explained all of that at our last meeting. And we want to do things in the right form, so I'll entertain a motion that we'll do the corrected.
I second.
Chuck, you made the motion. Jim, you second. Call a roll.
Jim Bush, second.
Jim Bush seconded. Chuck Holt.
Mark Barker,
Yes.
Brooks Reed,
No.
Todd Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Jimmy Nail,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Kevin George,
Yes.
Tony Neal,
Yes.
Jim Jones,
Yes.
Chuck Holt,
Yes.
8 for, 1 against, 1 absent.
All right, the motion passes. You pass that along to the highway department, right? And tell them we got it corrected. Next, number 5 on our agenda is the appropriations for fiscal year 14 and 15. And you've got it here in front of you also. I'll make a few comments before we start talking about the appropriations. The budget committee met 8 times, and it consisted of Tony Neal and Jim Bush, Jimmy Mingle, Todd Hollingsworth, and myself. That's right, and plus 2 citizens, James Adkins and Bill Jennings. And those 7 people were on the budget committee. You have in front of you here the appropriations. I didn't get this figure. I want to get this figure before the meeting here, but I'm going to ask Diane. About a little over $200,000 was turned back in, correct? Just correct me if I'm bad or wrong. Because isn't that right, Darryl? There's several. You remember the budget, Jim? You remember how much it was that was turned back in over last year's budget? Anyhow, we came out in good shape over last year's budget. What we had appropriated last year was adequate. We did make some adjustments during the year and still had money left to be turned back into county general. And the sheriff's department has been working today on a little bit of a addition to the county general. They're just their part of the county general, and it will not change. I'll say this beforehand, it will not change the bottom line. If you'll turn to page 20, on the appropriations, it's 22, page 22. County general, we're starting off with a fund balance of $433,000, and we're estimating, this is completely estimated though, but it's estimated the best we can. We think we'll have $126,000 at the end of it if we spend every single penny of it. And last year they didn't spend every single penny of it, and I don't think they will this year, and we'll probably be about pretty close to that 433 again next year. That's county general. The next one is solid waste. We're ending up with, we're proposing to end up with $13,000 fund balance, and that's the same as this last year. Ambulance service, turn on the next page, they'll have a fund balance of $69,000, and this year they had $74,000. And then the drug control fund, you see it's going to have a $52,000 balance in it if it goes like we estimated. Reach is all grants. So they don't have much fund balance, but they've just got $5,469. And we remember about 2 meetings ago, we talked about REACH, and I'm glad to say that they did get their money in for the grants before the end of the budget year, and that's a good thing. And then the highway department is the back pages in the cafeteria and the schools. And the only one that I did not, let's see, let's start. Debt service is the one that I have not looked at, have not called out here in our discussion. What page is it on?
43.
43, all right, turn to 43, that's debt service, yeah, at the very back. In debt service, we're estimating that this time next year we'll have $2,887,000 in debt service. This year we've got $2,890,000, so that's about a $3,000 difference. Now, today, this last week and today, the Sheriff's Department's bookkeeper, Miss Hilda, and Darrell, the sheriff, have been working on a proposal to change their budget slightly. And they've worked with Diane, and they've got some pages that would replace the jail page and the Sheriff's Department page without any difference in the bottom line, I think. Is that right, Miss Hilda? Just a slight bit, okay. Darrell, I'm gonna recognize you and let you tell the commissioners what you would like to propose.
Y'all first proposed to give incorrections in 8 days considerable rate. Keep the adequate turnover. But my dilemma is that all with the exception of 4 employees over there is either post-certified or TCI certified. Well, that's causing me a lot of problems because my corrections and the road office will be making more than supervisor. So we propose to take what money we had there that talked about the budget committee and me dividing that up amongst my employees, which comes roughly to a 2% rate. Is that right?
That would be across the board.
That's across the board.
Of his employees, yeah, the ones that work that are under his supervision.
Yeah, I understand that.
Diane, hand each commissioner those pages that you've got.
2% would be less expensive than what was proposed.
Well, because if you give them the deputy a 64-cent increase and the guards 83 cents, that's almost $35,000. But if you take that away, you give everybody at 2%, the whole everybody, not just the sheriff's department, but everybody. You're only looking at like a $2,800 increase because you take this out and then you go back in and add all that.
Okay.
It's not that much.
So so with your knowledge of the figures, we could do that for everyone and still not be, but how much more?
About 2,800.
2,800.
You're talking about all county employees?
Right, everybody.
Because when you get his 18 or 20, you're getting almost all of them in here.
What's true?
He sent everybody in the county. We were talking.
That's right.
That's the bottom line.
They just give that as
2% for
another
everybody.
option.
That's what it would be.
I think, I think if you take what Darrell recommended and put the officers and the jailers, and you just do a 2% for the sheriff's department, it's saved, it's about $10,000. There's a big difference there, bigger than you realize. So if you get what Diane's saying, if you do what Darrell says, 2%, you can actually take that savings and give everybody the right.
Or you could take that, why don't you just take what was the increase for his? How much was his increase? You say 35?
Yeah.
The one that the budget committee.
The first one is the
recommended.
budget committee that passed out of the budget committee. We hadn't recommended it yet.
Right,
But
just
one
for the
that
sheriff's
passed out-
department.
what passed out of the sheriff's department would have cost us $35,000.
What was the purpose in doing that?
to keep them from leaving and taking another job, to upgrade them because of the.
To keep them from going somewhere else all the
Yes,
time.
and when Darrell presented his budget to the budget committee, he again talked about losing certified officers to go other counties because they immediately get an increase.
Why don't you just take the 35 and let him split it between his employees, and that bumps all of them up over there. You know, money's a wash. I mean, I'm saying if you weren't worried about all the other county employees to begin with, you were just worried about
Well, we were.
not
We
losing
just didn't
them.
that didn't pass. We had opportunities to give them all a 2% increase.
And that didn't pass.
No,
in
that
the-
didn't, we had this
That didn't
budget.
pass.
That's right, it didn't pass. But there's been more time thought about it, and there's
But
10
there
of
was-
us talking now instead of 5. Or 9,
I would rather, we're so far behind
that's fine.
with the sheriff's department. When it comes to competing with Murfreesboro, Melville, and Manchester, money-wise.
We're way behind competing with Murfreesboro.
Well, we can't compete with Murfreesboro.
I'm aware of that.
They got a checkbook that doesn't have a bottom in it, but
Yeah, that's like me competing with Walmart.
that's right.
That's exactly right.
But-
Everything you can compete on is close by convenience.
We don't have to have everything they have, but we need to quit losing these, we need to quit training these people and sending them down there. We need to keep them for a while.
Well, I understand. You got them hemmed up on what, a 2-year contract now, Darrell?
The last 3 employees I lost, one went to Warren County Sheriff's Department, 2 of them went to Woodbury Police Department.
Do you make them sign a contract when you send them to school? And so the other agency pays that off for them?
They've done put their 2 years in.
Oh,
Put it
okay.
2 years in,
Gotcha.
yeah.
But that's one thing right there, they can go right down Woodbury City
Right.
Police Department, get a raise.
If there's a vacancy.
If it's available, yeah, if there's an opening.
I think, for
Is one
my
of the
part,
reasons that they leave mainly because of insurance?
That's the biggest part of it. And the pay's quite a bit different. You're talking $4 an hour difference in pay. Which was $3.50 something in Warren County. But you're talking $3, $3.50. Geez.
So if it was made up in insurance, what incentive would that be?
Well, I did. I talked to all my
get in the insurance
employees,
business.
with the exception of 2,
It's high.
which they want money, but all the rest of them want insurance.
We may be forced.
I know we're already in.
We were. Schools are, yeah. Back to our discussion. Back to our discussion. Do we have a sheet, Ms. Hiller, do you have a sheet that would divide what the budget committee had already recommended for y'all up differently and leave all the other departments alone?
I don't have a grand total.
Okay,
I've got what Diane and today figured
okay.
was 52%, what we were actually budgeted last year, 2% across the board for everybody.
Okay. And this one right here gets 2% for every county employee. Okay.
How do we deal with that in the budget, Mark? It's $35,000 that's already in the sheriff's budget.
But that, instead of scraping that out, and just giving everybody.
That's what this does. This new one does.
The new one that she gave you would take that, the raises that we gave the sheriffs and divide them over the whole county. The budget that you were mailed leaves that only in the sheriff's department.
Yeah, but if you do that though, then you're undoing what we did during the budget meeting. I
You're-
thought the purpose to give the deputies a raise was to keep them from leaving.
right.
Now you're cutting them back.
Well, you're not giving them as big a raise as the budget committee proposed to give them. That is correct. You're giving them small, but now Darrell, you correct me if I'm wrong, you said that your employees would rather all of your department get a little bit as to some of them be left off.
Well, the deputies and corrections that's leaving now, I'm gonna have them on supervision and everything else is gonna be job hunting. And I'm gonna have to train these people all over again.
The raises budget committee came up with is arbitrary. It's just, there's no rationale to it.
I think Daryl's employees would be happier to split that 35,000 up between them than they would split it 2%.
If you're gonna do that.
As far as what's gonna make them happy. And
If you wanna
and
make
the
that,
purpose of this is to keep them from leaving.
that's fine. That's why I'm allowing this time for discussion on the appropriations, because I think that the whole commission needs to hear this discussion instead of just the ones that were on the budget committee.
And if they was to be more interested by having insurance, what would be the cost of the insurance? Sound like me, majority of them would rather have a insurance that would cover them, that they could afford or.
They probably would, and that's a discussion for another budget year, I think.
It gets complicated.
I really don't think anybody has an idea what insurance they can do to help them defer.
That's right. I don't recommend that we get involved in any other insurance than we're already involved in at this time, because that's an unknown that we don't have a clue what it's gonna be like. We may all be under one thing.
Commie care.
We may all be under one thing, whether we work for the sheriff's department or work on the farm.
That's right.
I don't know. But the discussion at hand is how to divide what the budget committee has already allocated to the sheriff's department. Do I have give me some guidance on that?
Seems to me like the easiest way to resolve this, throw it in the sheriff's budget, spread it out among sheriff's department employees.
Let the sheriff be the one
Right.
to dispense
Okay.
it.
Right.
You make that a motion, Jim?
Yeah.
All right, do I hear a second? Okay. Do y'all know what we budgeted now?
Let me make sure we understand. The motion is
To just take the bottom line on the
to
sheriff?
approve the budget as the budget committee recommended.
That's right.
With the option
And
to
give the
take the
sheriff-
amount for the increases and evenly divide it among the employees.
Well,
Well,
no,
he'll decide
the
who
sheriff will
makes-
decide how they're divided among
Let the
his
sheriff make
employees.
the recommendation on how it's gonna be divided.
He supervises them, and he's going to, under public safety there, he will divide them up,
He knows his employees
got-
better than we do. He knows which ones
That's
do a
right, he
little
knows
bit
more
better
about
job
it than we do
than
too.
others.
I can't sit here, on 8 budget meetings and know what he knows being over our 365 days a year. But y'all realize, y'all know just let the bottom line on the sheriff and the bottom line on the jail be the same, that the budget committee's already approved. Okay.
Just
All right,
change-
y'all understand the motion?
Change the labor line.
Yeah, just the labor, yeah, none of the other lines, okay.
We understand.
You understand that, Miss Hilda? What we're talking about? And Darryl, okay. Okay. Got a motion on the floor and a second, call a roll.
Wait a minute, what's the
All right.
motion now?
The motion is to leave the bottom line here the same, but give Darryl the authority to move some of the salaries that we had proposed for the jailers and the deputies, as part of that, over to the other employees so they can all get some kind of raise in the sheriff's department. Okay.
I still don't see Darrell come before us first and saying that he was losing his deputies because they wasn't getting enough pay. Now he's wanting to take pay away from them.
No.
Well, he's not taking away from them because they hadn't got
Well,
it.
he is, because they're not getting what we give them.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, all of it.
Sheriff's Department's still getting the same money that it
you
was
know.
getting.
No, not the department, the deputies.
It'll be allocated however Darryl wants to allocate it instead of how we want to
He knows
allocate
more about it than we do. All right,
it.
any more
If I
discussion?
wanted to be sheriff, I would be running right now.
There's a
I
total
ain't
of
running.
monies we're talking about, what, 36,000, Diane?
35.
35,000? So, I mean, that leaves him a broad scope on
To
how
put it where he
wants to
thinks it's
allocate.
most necessary. Okay. Any more discussion, anybody? Todd? Tony, you got anything else?
No, ain't no good anyway.
Jim.
Jim Jones made the motion and Kevin George seconded it and called the roll.
To leave money what the budget committee give them.
But let Darryl allocate the salaries as he sees fit.
Mark Barker,
Yes?
Russell Reed,
Yes.
Todd Hollingsworth,
Yes.
Jimmy Mangles,
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
No,
Jim Jones.
Yes.
Chuck Holt,
Yes.
Steve Carr, Tony Kemp.
Okay. Now, that is on the resolution, the appropriations. Now, I'm going to entertain a motion for the entire appropriation of county general. I'm not going to go through all of them because you've got them. County general, solid waste, debt service, the schools, the highway department. It's this packet of appropriations, it's a whole resolution here. And the total, if you want to see what the total is well, we don't have a grand total, I don't think. Yeah, it's, the totals are on page 6 of your budget, the one that's sideways. Okay. And this is the appropriations that we've already, the budget committee, and the budget committee made these appropriations. We went across it during 8 meetings, line by line, examined every single line, and I'll make the motion to pass what the budget committee has recommended as it has been amended here in this meeting before.
Break down what the fund balance was.
Okay, go back to page 22. We've already done that, but go back to page 22 again.
And then go for
Oh, I said, yeah, page 22. Our estimated fund balance, if we spend every penny, will be $126,539.
No, it won't. Be 123. You got a new sheet tonight, remember?
No.
Is that right? No,
This
no,
is-
that sheet didn't pass.
That's for.
That sheet didn't pass. See, we didn't get a motion on that sheet. We got a motion on leaving these others the same.
That was for everybody.
Oh, that's for everybody.
That was for everybody. Yeah, that was for everybody. And we tried to pass that, remember, in the budget meeting. $126,539.
Well, now, there's a description in here. On the final one that we voted on, it says 128,607. The one that we got in our package says 126,539.
That's right. That's
I'll have to
because,
go back and change some expenditures and stuff, but that's some expenditures. That's why I said
But I noticed too that the library on theirs
there was
had
an oversight in it.
71,000, and now the one that we got in our package says 73.
Yes, that's where the 2,000 is. There was oversight. There was oversight that what we voted on was in the minutes, but it didn't get over into the final tally that she's gone over twice or 3 times now, probably 4.
that was for her part-time person to go full-time.
That's right.
That's what that's.
And we voted for that now. Okay, any other questions on the county general part? Any questions on solid waste? Solid waste, the budget committee is recommending that we keep solid waste in the black to the tune of $13,000.
This is on page 6, right?
That's all.
Well, if you're on page 6, it's just got, yes, if you're on page 6, it's just got them all sideways and they're what they are, that's right.
Mr. Barker,
Yes, sir.
question. When we get ready to vote, you're talking about county general. Is that saying, does any of us have any discrepancies with some of the other things down through here?
The budget here, we'll vote on this resolution here all in one. If you've got any question on an individual, the highway department or the schools, or anything else, now's the time to ask it.
Well, I do have a problem. I do have a problem with the EMA.
Which page is it on?
I think it's 54-100, if I'm not mistaken.
17, page 17. Yeah, it starts on the bottom of page 17 and ends on top of page 18. Okay. Last year, we put $11,364 in emergency management, and this year they're recommended to put $12,035.
Yes, sir, and I feel like that's a waste, sir. I'm not, I don't feel like a county of our size needs EMA that's not being utilized or not working as such. When we have larger counties around us that they still have their EMA is considered as their civil defense, and they're only giving them a budget of $3,500 a year. Yes, sir.
How
I
much
do-
did EMA turn back in off last year's budget? Do you have that figure?
About a little over $1,000.
12,435 is what was budgeted. That's what she's got in the same amount pretty much.
So about $800 turned back in.
1,071.
1,071, about 8% of the budget was turned back in.
We
Okay.
cut her budget too, I think about $500.
Yeah, we cut it a little bit.
Well, and the reason for that, I know what was being spent the first 8 months of the year versus the last 4 months of the budget year, of course. And there is a very large, considerable amount during that period of time. If anybody would take time, which I have a copy of what was spent and where it was spent and how it was spent throughout, basically throughout the year. But the last 4 months, according to their fuel budget, dropped down to like $41.50.
Well, if the truck doesn't run, it don't burn any fuel. But I can't answer it. There's 10 lines on that, and there's no salary whatsoever in it.
But anyway, I have a major problem with it, and if that comes up for a vote, which I wish it would, and I would like to see how the others feel about it.
Does anybody else want to dig deeper into the emergency management budget before we vote? The budget committee went over emergency management. There's, like I say, there's no salary in it. The biggest one line item is fuel, communication, radios.
Went way over, $700 or $700 some odd dollars on that particular one. And like I said, the last 4 months, why did it drop down to $269 when the first 8 months it was costing us over $500? So the last 4 months it was a saving of $312. So the question is, where's it going to? What's it being spent for?
What does the communication line item go for, Diane? Can you answer that question?
Phone bill.
The phone bill.
Phone that she has to.
$5,000 for phone bill?
$5,700.
Okay. Anybody else want to delve any deeper into the EMA budget? Do I hear a motion to approve the appropriations resolution as a whole?
I'll make one.
Motion made by Kevin George. Kevin George made the motion. Yeah, I've already made it. I did. I made it, and then Kevin seconded it.
Okay.
I'm
Okay.
happy to do anything that I want.
Now, we're voting on the whole.
Like either thing.
No, we're voting on the appropriations. Everybody clear, we're voting on appropriations. Motion's been made and seconded, call the roll.
Mark Barker.
Yes.
Russell Reed.
No.
Todd Hollinsworth.
I work for the ambulance service, but that doesn't influence my vote, and I vote yes.
Jimmy Daniels.
Yes.
Jim Bush.
Yes.
Kevin George.
Yes.
Tony Neal.
No.
Jim Jones.
Yes.
Chuck Holt.
No.
1, 2, 3, 6 for, and 3 against, and 1 absent. Motion carried.
Mr. Chairman, the commission had already passed the appropriations. You were voting then on the tax rate.
No, we amended the appropriations.
Oh.
We amended the appropriations, and now we're voting on the whole appropriations. And the vote was 6-3, correct? Now, number 6, the tax rate. Go back to your packet there on page 5. Page 5, setting the tax rate for the county. The budget committee has recommended to leave the tax rate at $2.53 per $1,000 of assessed value, and it's to be divided as such: $1.26 to county general, that's 2 cents less than last year; 16 to solid waste, that's 2 cents more; 88 cents to the school budget, that's the same as last year; 33 cents to to debt service is the same as last year, and 20 cents to the ambulance service, that's the same as last year. Everybody understand the change that we made?
I said 33.
I didn't mean 33, I meant 3.
30.
30.
No, 3.
3.
3 debt
cents.
service. Debt service gets 3 cents.
All right.
126, 16, it's on page 5, it's all laid out on page 5. And that's the resolution for the tax rate. And I'll entertain a motion to set the tax rate at 253.
Motion.
Penny's worth
1,900.
19,000 and
19,932.
Yeah.
slightly, but that's an estimate also.
Yeah.
That's an estimate also. Penny brings in about 19, what'd you say, Todd,
19,932.
1909.32.
$19,932, what Penny is supposed to bring in this year, if the delinquency rate and everything like that is the same as they estimated that. Okay. I'll entertain a motion to set the tax rate at 253, the same as last year.
I'll make a motion.
All right, Jim Jones made a motion.
I'll second.
Jimmy Mingle seconded it. Call the roll.
Jimmy Mangle, second.
Yes, sir.
Mark Parson,
Yes.
Buster Reed,
Yes.
Todd Hollingsworth,
I work for the ambulance service. It doesn't influence my vote. I vote yes.
Jimmy Mangle.
Yes.
Jim Bush,
Yes.
Stephen George,
Yes.
Tony Neal,
Yes.
Jim Jones.
Yes.
Chuck Holt,
Yes.
9 for and 1 absent. Motion carried.
All right, that's the last thing on our agenda. And since this is a special session, we can't entertain any other business. But I want to again thank Tony Neal and Todd Hollingsworth and Jim Bush and Jimmy Mingle for being willing to serve those 8 meetings on the budget committee. It's a long, laborious process, but I appreciate y'all working on it. And the tax rate set at 253, same as last year. Thank you for your attendance.
Wait a minute, they don't want to make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, go ahead. Tony